I don't think I've been more excited for a round one of NBA playoffs till this year in 2023. There's 4 matchups that I think can go either way and that are going to be super competitive. There's 1 in the Eastern Conference and 3 in the West. The Western Conference round 1 is going to be elite. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my 2023 playoff predictions. I'm on ESPN's playoff challenge. I'll drop a link to it in the description below if you want to make your bracket. I believe you can also just enter this into a prize pool. You can win it. It looks like up to $2,000. This isn't sponsored or anything. It's just like they have their own March Madness of the NBA playoffs, but definitely less popular. So let's start off in the Eastern Conference at the top. 1-seeded Bucks versus the 8-seeded Heat. The Heat disappointed at home in the first leg of the play-in tournament, lost to the Atlanta Hawks, and most people thought they were going to beat them and go up against the Celtics in round 1. Well, that didn't happen. They end up beating the Bulls in the second leg of the play-in tournament. Shout out to Max Strus, but I don't think there's any way that the Heat beat the Bucks. Chris Middleton is going to be playing injured in this series whenever he does end up playing, and that is going to hurt the Bucks, and I think the Heat will give them a run for their money, and a couple of these games could be competitive. I don't think this is going to be a sweep. Could maybe not even be a gentleman's sweep, that the Heat could lose this series in 6 games because they play tough in the playoffs. They still have Jimmy Butler, they have Bam Adebayo, Tower Hero, Max Strus played so well in the second leg of that play-in tournament, but it's hard to bet against the Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez leading that defense. Drew Holiday as well. It's one of the best defensive trios we have seen in the league in a while. I just don't see the Bucks blowing this round 1 matchup. Like I said, though, the Heat can make this a competitive series. That's what they do, but I have the Bucks in 5 games. You know what? I'm on NBA's bracket challenge. I like this layout a lot better. We're going to roll over to this. So like I said, I have the Bucks in 5, and it's nice that I could showcase you how many games I'm predicting them to win in. I'll leave a link to this one in the description as well. Next up, we have the Boston Celtics and the Atlanta Hawks. The 2-seeded Celtics going up against the team that ended up beating the Heat, like I just said, in the play-in tournament. I think the Celtics are probably a little bit happier with having to play the Hawks instead of the Heat, but I think Boston's defense will just be too competitive against Trae Young. Like, I trust Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart and Malcolm Brogdon, and Derek White as well. Like, you have Marcus Smart and Derek White who can definitely go up against Trae Young and DeJounte Murray and at least help contain them to an extent. I'm excited to see the Clint Capella-Robert Williams matchup or the Clint Capella-Al Horford matchup to see how they're going to go up against each other with their physicality on the boards. We know Clint Capella dominated the Miami Heat in that play-in tournament game, so we'll see how that carries over into the series against the Celtics. I'm not going to count out the Hawks by any means, but I do think that the Boston Celtics are going to end up winning this series in 6 games. Yeah, I think like Boston could easily go up 2-0. Maybe the Atlanta Hawks steal a game in Atlanta, and then it goes up 2-1, and then Boston ends up making it 3-1. Atlanta makes it 3-2, and then Boston ends up winning in 6. I think Boston could be on their way to a finals appearance or a conference finals appearance, but like I wouldn't say that they're going to lose to the Hawks in round 1. I just think the Hawks have a deep enough roster, and their bench shows out with Bogdan Bogdanovic, with Jalen Johnson, Sadiq Bey, Onyeka Okongwu. It's a solid rotation. They just like can't withstand any injuries, I think, to some of their guys. We'll go to Philly and Brooklyn next. This one I believe is going to be Philly in 4. I love watching Brooklyn, man, just because they have a lot of fun, entertaining players in my eyes. Like watching Mikal Bridges being number 1 is kind of dope. I love watching Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton. I used to enjoy watching Ben Simmons. Obviously, we're not going to be seeing him in this series as he's been shut down for the year. I thought this would be entertaining to see Ben Simmons go up against Philly, even if he was playing 10 minutes a night, but we're not going to get that. Embiid is going to show why he was the MVP this season. I believe that Philly is going to dominate Brooklyn. I'm not going to say that Brooklyn's going to roll over and these are going to be 4 blowouts. There's probably a chance that this is a 5-game series or a 6-game series. Hell, it could even be a 7-game series with Doc Rivers coaching the Philadelphia 76ers. But if there was a sweep to be predicted in the first round, I do want to have one sweep in there. I'm going with Philly over Brooklyn. I think Philly is probably very happy with the round 1 draw going up against Brooklyn. Sure, they'd rather have that or then going up against Miami or Atlanta. So yeah, I'm going to go Philly in 4, setting up such a fun round 2 in the East between Philly and Boston. Like, that is going to be much must-watch television. And then, boy, oh boy. So I mentioned that there's one Eastern Conference round 1 matchup that is just going to be amazing. It's going to be the Cavs and the Knicks. The Knicks did win the season series, but the Cavs are definitely a better team on paper. I'm scared how the Knicks are going to go up against their amazing defensive front court in Cleveland with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. It's looking like Julius Randle is going to play, though, which is going to help the Knicks, but he hasn't played in over 2 weeks, so I'm a little bit bit nervous to see how he's going to go in his first game back up against two all defensive caliber big men. I'm so excited to watch Donovan Mitchell versus Jalen Brunson. And you're obviously going to have the narrative, oh, the Knicks could have traded for Donovan Mitchell in the offseason. So you're never going to hear the end of those jokes if the Cavs do knock off the Knicks. But you know what? We're going with the Knicks in 7, baby. I'm riding with their deep roster. They ended up playing so well over the course of the end of the regular season. Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickly, those are the difference makers. If the Knicks rely on them more than RJ Barrett, the Knicks are a deeper team. Mitchell Robinson matches up well with their front court guys. And that is going to be my only Eastern Conference round 1 upset. Knicks in 7 over the Cavs. Let's go, baby. All right, so we'll go over to the Western Conference here. We have the Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. I do believe that the Denver Nuggets are going to win this series in 5 games. Minnesota is definitely going to be a competitive team going up against Denver. I'm sure Denver really wanted to play OKC in round 1. Minnesota definitely has the size in the front court with Cat and Rudy Gobert. We'll see if the Nuggets move Michael Porter Jr. just because he has a little bit size on them, but they're probably going to roll with Aaron Gordon and Jokic guarding those two. It's KCP, Bruce Brown. They're going to get the defensive matchups on Anthony Edwards. Man, this series could go either way as well. I'm going to choose it in 5 games because I don't want to underrate the Denver Nuggets. Next up, we have the LA Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Man, this is a time where a 2-7 matchup could go either way. I think the last time we had this is when the Lakers went up against the Suns in round 1 of the 2021 playoffs, where the Lakers were a 7 seed and the Suns were a 2 seed. That's when the Lakers were in the playing tournament last. And I'm going to go with the Lakers in 7 games. Yeah, I think they're going to pull off the upset. Memphis is desperately going to be missing out on Brandon Clark and Steven Adams, but they're going to be okay with Jaren Jackson Jr., who probably is going to win Defensive Player of the Year guarding Anthony Davis. On a pure talent point this season, the Grizzlies might have the best player in this series with Ja Morant. And they also have Dylan Brooks, like him or not, an all-world defender. And they have Desmond Bane, one of the best shooters in the league as well. But I got to see one of those young guys step up. Is it going to be Aldama? Is it going to be Roddy? Is it going to be Zaire Williams? Or is it going to be somebody like Luke Kennard off the bench or Tyus Jones? But the Lakers have been one of the hottest teams since the All-Star break. This is going to be a back-and-forth series. We know they're going to have bad blood. Trash talk is going to happen. But the Lakers are a deep enough roster where I think they could pull off the upset in 7 games. Yeah, I'm going with the Lake Show. Sacramento Golden State. Wow. 78% of the public is on Golden State. I'm going to go with a different opinion. I'm going Sacramento in 6. Yeah, I'm riding the Kings, light the beam. You know what? I can regret this, going against Curry, the reigning NBA champions, who are getting Andrew Wiggins back. One of the best offensive teams this year, a team that really didn't have that many injuries, which was so huge for them getting the 3 seed. One of the clutchest players in the NBA, De'Aaron Fox. Him and his partner, Domantas Sabonis, who might get on All-NBA third team, work so well together. I'm excited to see Keegan Murray in the playoffs. I think the shooting of Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter can keep the Kings up with the Warriors when they're on a roll with their shooting. Draymond Green is going to make Sabonis' life a living hell, though. And yeah, there's just going to be a lot of points scored in this series. And lastly, we have the Phoenix Suns going up against the LA Clippers. I think this could be a great series. I don't know which game Paul George is going to come back, but it's looking like he's not going to start the series. So I will have the Phoenix Suns in 6 games. The Clippers do have a deep enough roster where they can 100% beat the Suns, but the Suns have just looked unbeatable since they acquired Kevin Durant, and when him and Booker actually play together, yeah, they just look unstoppable. So we have a 1-4 at the top of the West, we have a 1-5 at the top of the East, 3-2 at the bottom of the East, and a 3-7 at the bottom of the West. So we'll start off with Milwaukee, New York. I honestly think Milwaukee would beat the Knicks. I'll give the Knicks like the benefit of the doubt, and maybe they take a game at MSG. Yeah, it's gonna be pure dominance of Milwaukee over the Knicks. Cleveland matches up with Milwaukee so much better than the Knicks do. Like, there's like Drew Holiday on Jalen Brunson, Giannis on Randall, Lopez on Mitchell Robinson, Middleton on RJ. Yeah, the Knicks would actually get dominated in this series, and I would humble myself real quick as a Knicks fan. Then we have Philly, Boston in the second round. This is like an NBA Finals talent matchup right here. Boston's depth and their rotational like switchability, I think that they are going to beat Philly in 7 games. Like, who's going to go up against Embiid? Is it going to be Robert Williams? Is it going to be Horford? How well are they going to do to contain him? Which James Harden are we going to get? I'm a little bit nervous about him in the playoffs. And if Philly gets an injury, they're probably screwed to one of the, if like Maxey goes down, if Embiid goes down, or if Harden goes down, they miss a game or 2. I don't feel confident about their depth. So yeah, this sets us up a rematch from last year's round 2 between the Bucks and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And in the Western Conference Finals, I'm going to have the Phoenix Suns beating the Denver Nuggets in 5 games. When like we're going to get fully ramped up with KD in playoff mode. I don't think the Nuggets are going to make this much of a series. I think Phoenix is going to dominate the Nuggets. I think they match up well with them. Obviously, Phoenix is a team that if somebody goes down, they don't have a lot of depth at all. But I'm just riding with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton to the conference finals. And then we have Kings Lakers. And as much as I want to take the Kings, I just don't think LeBron would lose to like the Sacramento Kings even if he gets past Memphis. So I'm gonna have the Lakers win in 6 and set up a KD LeBron Western Conference Finals. This is the NBA script that they wrote. They want KD versus LeBron in the conference finals. So yeah, we have Milwaukee versus Boston here. I'm going to have Boston beat Milwaukee and go back to the NBA Finals. I'm going to have them win in 7, and I think Tatum is going to have just an elite conference finals. So will Giannis. They're going to go back and forth, and I think if both teams are fully healthy, I like Boston's roster a little bit more. And then in the West, we have Phoenix versus the Lakers. I'm going to have Phoenix win in 6, which sets up Phoenix, Boston. Both these teams would be making their second NBA Finals appearance in 3 years. Phoenix back in 2021, Boston back in 2022. And I'm going to be riding with Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns beating the Boston Celtics in 6 games. The Celtics are going to lose their second straight NBA Finals, and Kevin Durant is going to win a ring with the Phoenix Suns. So yeah, those are my 2023 NBA playoff predictions. Let me know who you have in your Eastern and Western Conference Finals and your NBA Finals along with your winner in the comments below. I'm sure I upsetted some Warriors fans, some Grizzlies fans, and some Cavs fans in this video, so you can clown me on Twitter which one I was wrong with. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Here's to a great 2023 playoffs, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.